Jane is a new student who just moved to this town and starts her senior year in this high school. She's not much of a talkative girl and a bit stressed to be a total stranger in the city, so she doesn't have any friends since she's here. She tries not to overthink anything, but to study hard and try to get into the college she's hoping for. A bright future is waiting for a smart girl like her. But her determined and quiet personality strikes the eyes of Michael, a boy Jane attends a class with. For days, Michael has been watching her and finally he starts to talk to her. Hey, I couldn't help but notice that you're eating alone for a few days now. Would you like to join me for a lunch? I'm eating alone too.
Okay.
Great. Would you like some pops? Here, I got one for you. Jane feels nice with Michael's politeness, and he seems like a fine guy. Michael mentioned things that they both shared common interests. Jane feels relaxed to have a conversation with him. She let down her guard, and in no time, Michael becomes the only person she hangs out with. After a week, Michael asks Jane to go to the movies with him. Jane's heart pumped because this is her first date in years. Michael takes Jane to a late night movie. It has only a few people. Michael asks Jane to be his girlfriend, and she said yes instantly. This is Jane's real happiness moment in a long time. He smiles and said, "This is our first date. Jane, honey, please remember."
Yes, I will. Michael.
That night ends up in Michael's bedroom. It's the first time Jane has sex with a boy. Michael, a boy who has been her boyfriend for a few hours. She's a bit confused about her decision, but she is very happy because she fell in love with someone for the first time too. The next day, Jane goes to school with a special lunchbox that she's joyfully making for Michael. She met him in a hallway as always, but something's different. His eyes and manners just like another person. What is it? I'm not gonna eat your food.
What? What are you saying?
Get lost, you. We're done. Last night was fine, and thank you, by the way. I have to move on now. And don't come talk to me again. Michael and his gang laughed at her and insulted about how she was so easy to seduce. He dumped her right before she even knew it. Jane was shocked by what she heard. She finds out later that Michael just fools her. He's the worst womanizer, and no one cared to warn her anything. Jane fell apart. Her surreal happiness is crumbled overnight. On the other hand, Michael, guilt-free, he keeps doing this horrible habit without any shame. He knows how to work on his charm. Women fell for him so easily. His sweet words and humbleness lured girls like a piece of cake. It was his addiction to score over ladies' body and soul, one after another. Michael has left a wound to their spirits. Months after Michael's incident has passed, nobody even noticed that Jane is gone. One night, Michael asks his new date for a late night movie. This is the thing he likes to do with every girl. Asks them to the movie for the first date. Carla, the athletic and sassy girl, she's Michael type. He can't help but drawn into her. Michael makes sure they got the most empty theater. Nobody's seating around him, so he could flirt with Carla. But when they're about to get serious, his eyes catch someone sitting right in front of his seat. What? I was sure nobody's sitting here a second ago. How is she here so fast? Michael, a bit resentful, seeing a long-haired girl showing up in front of them, but he decided to ignore her. He is about to continue his moment with Carla. Suddenly, something very wrong and frightening has happened. That girl turns the head to her. Not wrong. The head is turning 360 degrees backwards. The face Michael saw was even more horrifying. That face so pale like a dead person. Her eyes disturbingly red and wildly stares at him. That was the scariest scene Michael has ever encountered. He tries to scream, but no voice came out. The girl crawled over the seat towards terrified Michael. Her shabby white cloak covered with blood, stinky smell. The next second she's right over his lap, her face inches away from him.
Hello, Michael. Do you remember me? No. You said remember this. I kept my promise. Why don't you? Oh, because you are fraud.
Michael's breathless body lies in the seat of the theater with Carla beside him, shaking, confused, and scared to death. When the police came to the scene, she can't stop crying while telling the police that Michael suddenly got epilepsy and screamed for almost 2 minutes before he passes away.
Like he saw something very scary. He shocked and kept screaming like he's talking to someone.
5 months ago, soon after her night with Michael, Jane found out that she got pregnant with him. She was so sorry for that choice she made. Her bright future seemed suddenly twisted. She's all alone since her parents died a year ago from a bad car accident. So she moved out of her hometown to escape a horrifying memory and hoped to start over and get through this by herself. But Jane tried to get it together for her coming baby. She decided to take a year off from school and kept this secret from everyone, especially Michael. Unfortunately, Jane has a personal health condition. Her broken heart made it worse. One night, she got sick and stomach pain very badly without a clue that the pills she took affect to her early pregnancy. She miscarried a baby and bleed to death alone. Michael's face and his voice are the last agony and the ecstasy she remembered before her light of life is out.
I remember that I was so happy, Michael. I don't want to be alone. Now you can come live with me and the baby. Honey.